Alright guys, welcome to the next episode to become a Kubernetes Pro. In this guide I will show you how you can set up your private registry. So registry is like a GitHub of Docker images. So before we begin, I would like to stress this guide might be an overkill for you. Why is that? Well, if you're just building one application, then most likely you don't need to set up your own registries. Instead, you can try using free options that are available there in the market. So personally, back in the days, I've been using Docker Hub, which is pretty great as long as you don't need to have your images being securely or privately hosted. But in the Docker Hub, it's open for everyone. Once you push your image, everyone can get it. But if you need an additional layer of privacy and you do not want to disclose your codes, then it's probably not an option for you. Another alternative is like, again, I've been using AWS Elastic Container Registry and they have a free tier. The great thing here is that everything is password protected and they also offer you a free vulnerability scan. Alright, I hope you make your decision now. If you do not need to set up your own private registry, just skip this guide and get your registry credentials and go to the next episode of this session. Other than that, let's continue. Alright, I'm getting excited right now. I need to go to my Hetzner dashboard just to provide I have to provide my OTP. By the way, feel free to use any other cloud provider out there and don't restrict yourself to Hetzner exclusively. So again, I will select Germany and here Ubuntu, Ampere should work, I believe. 40 GB of drive. Yeah, I need to create a new key for my registry. Then the folder is, now I'm adding my keys here. Registry, add key. Okay, I'm creating the VPS server. Server is created and I will follow my cheat sheet. This one you can find in the description of this video. First, I will create a folder. That's where we will host our registry or multiple registries. Now I will update the system. And we'll start with the installation of the registries, of the private registry. Okay. Done. Okay, Docker is running. Cool. And now I will create the folder with my Docker registry itself. I go to that folder and now I will create the Docker compose file. You can just type the following command and copy paste this code that I already prepared for the video. And to give you a little bit of an explanation of what happens here, it basically defines our registry configuration. So port that is going to run is 8317. Then we also force it to have the authentication, and we will have a separate file where we store and create our password specifically for this registry. We also define where we store our data, and here we actually map our volumes, container and the physical drive where it is residing. Okay, I am creating the YAML file. Yes. So by the way, I'm clicking on Ctrl X, and then Shift Y to save the changes. Yeah, hopefully you grasp that. Now I will try to run my Docker YAML file. It downloaded, created, started. It's working. Now I need to install additional components. Yes. Done. Well, I need to have my own endpoint for the registries. So I already have my domain name. Hopefully you do have as well. So I would just create, I just called Kubernetes registry.kenzup.cloud, but feel free to change it. I mean, you must change it to your domain name and to your IP address, the IP address of your server. So for the cloud, I'm hosted at Bunny CDN. Most likely you are using a different DNS provider, and so I believe you're using a different DNS provider and your UI may be different. I would just, for the sake of this, then I'll just show you how it works at my end. So I'm signing in into the Bunny dashboard. I go to the DNS section, I'm selecting my domain, and I'm adding the record. So here I will just add this part, Kubernetes registry.kenzup.cloud, and I put the IP address, which is the following one. Okay, I'm adding the DNS record. Shouldn't take much time for it to be propagated. So meanwhile, let's continue with the installation. The next thing is we are installing Nginx, which is a web server, but it acts as a proxy in our case. So the registry is currently working locally, but we put another layer for the traffic to come in and basically to be kind of managed by the Nginx. We set some additional parameters there to make sure that registry is not overloaded, and yeah, we get through that soon. Let me first continue with the installation. So Nginx is installed. In case I have my firewall running, I'm adding the rule. Probably it was not necessary, but anyway. Yeah, Nginx is running. Cool. Now I'm installing the certbot. Well, it's for HTTPS certificates, SSL certificates. That's the public folder for Nginx, but we're not going to host anything there. It's basically to renew our certificates flawlessly later on automatically. Right now, I have to create the Nginx block. This block will define our proxy that will forward the traffic to the Docker registry. I will have my setup here. So by default, we're listening on port 80, and then we have, do I actually have to listen to port 80? Good question. I believe so, yeah. Kubernetes is our root folder. Well, the index is not present there, but okay, whatever, we don't care in this case. So this is my endpoint, the one I have just configured in Bunny CDN. And here is the link to our Docker registry. I'm defining and forwarding the password authentication here, and also some proxy parameters of how much traffic can be simultaneously. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I am copying the whole thing here. Now on my laptop, probably needs my phone to show you how it works. Right, I'm typing Control X and then Shift and Y and then typing Enter. So now if I open the same file again, changes are there. Okay. Now I will try to test if this configuration is actually working fine. Systemctl status nginx. Doesn't look we made any mistake in the configuration file. Okay, let me check where our endpoint is currently pointing to. It's 62.9. Yeah, it seems like DNS already propagated. So let's try to issue our SSL certificate. I'm running this command. You just need to run it once. In the future, it has to be refreshed automatically. Whatever, I just click. Oh no, I need my email. I type no reply, kenzup.com. Please read the terms. Yes, I agree. I have no other option. No. Well, sometimes we need to wait for 5+ minutes in order for your DNS to be provisioned, updated, but I think that, yeah, it looks like everything is working fine right now. All right, the next step, we are creating the password for our Docker registry. And what I'm gonna do, I'm creating a new file called Kubernetes auth. Oh, sorry, it's the folder. And then I'm going to this folder, and that's where I'm creating the login and password. I'm copy pasting this command. I will actually create the password for our registry. Make sure to change your password. Don't just copy paste the one that I'm having here. Adding password for user Kubernetes. Yeah, done. It should clean. Yeah, it should clean the history. At least in my terminal. And now I am running and restarting everything. Well, technically, if everything went right, then we may have our registry already working. So how do I check that? I'm copying the following URL, going to my browser. Here I have to do v2. Well, that's how it works. Okay, good. What I can see is that our registry is working, the proxy is operational, the SSL certificate is issued successfully, no warnings here. And let's try our username and password. Yay, it works. No errors, I'm super happy here. Okay, so that's it. You have created your own private register. I think that's amazing. And actually, by following some parts of this guide, you can create and add more independent registers with unique passwords. And in case you do have questions, do not hesitate to ask them in the comment section below. And if you feel that you would like to share something, also go ahead. And also, thank you for watching and see you in the next episode. And we will be publishing on the first application.